Welcome back to the ARCA Menards Series preview show. I'm Casey Campbell with Great Lakes Post. We are pleased to be always joined by the ARCA Menards Series PR Director, Charlie Kroll. It's championship week part 2. How's it going?
It's going well, Casey. I'm ready to get down to Kansas this weekend and put a period or put an exclamation point, I should say, on our season. And yeah, it should be a really interesting race. We just had some interesting news that Dean Thompson, one of our ARCA Menards West drivers, will make the trip to Kansas to race this weekend. He'll be doing some double duty for Nice Motorsports down there, so that'll be fun. And yeah, look forward to seeing Dean take on the rest of the ARCA Menards series. It's going to be a tough task for him. We've got some pretty steep competition that we'll have at Kansas this week, so but it'll be interesting to have him there. And yeah, excited to finally crown what we expect will be our 2021 champion, Ty Gibbs. Basically, all he's got to do is take the green flag, and he will be the champion. And what a great year that he has had, and what a great year that Corey Heim has had, and that Menards Motorsports number 20 car as well. And yeah, excited to get the season done and start looking forward to 2022.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good season for you guys. What do you think has been the best moment so far this year?
Oh, Casey, I've had so many memorable moments, you know, going all the way back to, you know, speed weeks at Daytona, from the ARCA Menards East race at New Smyrna to, you know, the race at Daytona. And, you know, anytime I get to bring my kids to the racetrack, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I've had so many wonderful moments, Casey. It's really hard to pick out just one and say, hey, this was the highlight of 2021. But you know, we've seen so many great performances by Ty Gibbs. We've seen, you know, a really great underdog run. You know, I really don't like to call Menards Motorsports the underdogs. They've been around such a long time and have such a great history. But to see them, you know, kind of rally up against Joe Gibbs Racing and really make Ty work for that championship this year has been really great. You know, and then we had some really good, you know, standout performances. Daniel Dye at Berlin, Greg Van Alst at Winchester. I mean, I think that's probably going to be the one run all season long that people have really overlooked. Was, you know, Greg in a, you know, wasn't even supposed to run that race, and he came out and did it and finished second. And what a great performance that was. And you know, it's just so many wonderful moments, Casey, throughout the entire course of the year. It's really hard to just pick one.
Yeah, I know we got to be introduced to some new faces, or reintroduced. Of course, Greg Van Alst, Andy Jankowiak, of course.
Andy J, man, what can you say about him? What a great guy.
Yeah. And other things, you know, GMS Racing, they came back we really didn't know what they were going to be like this year, because Jack Wood started off with the car, and then Daniel Dye took over, and he's kind of taken it by storm.
Yeah, Daniel's gonna have a pretty interesting 2022 from what I can gather, and we're looking forward to having him, you know, as often as he'd like to come and race with us. He really did a great job there at Berlin. And you know, for someone who had run, you know, a handful of East races, you know, was kind of a really unproven talent. We knew he was talented. We just didn't really know, you know, what he was capable of. And he put it all together and absolutely dominated up at Berlin. What a great night that was. And you know, Chad Bryant coming over from, you know, his cell phone team over to GMS. And you know, we all kind of wondered what GMS would be like, you know, after Sam moved on and took a bunch of people, you know, other people. It's kind of scattered all over the place. We wondered what that team would be like, and Chad really did a great job, you know, kind of herding cats over there and getting them back into victory lane. And I think we'll see a lot more out of them in 2021. Excuse me, 2022.
Yeah. Speaking of Sam, he will be with you this weekend out in Kansas.
Yeah.
There'll be a double duty on the day. Ty Gibbs will be also, I think, running both races. And what about those Rev Racing cars? How impressed are you by them? Because they've really stepped up their performance this year.
I'm sorry, what cars are you talking about, Case?
The Rev Racing cars.
Oh yeah, the Rev cars. Both of those drivers have done a great job this year. I think they both have a career best finish of third. Raja finished third at Salem. Nick's finished third a couple of times. I'm really looking forward to having them both full time here in 2022. Raja in particular, I think, is a great story coming from the iRacing world and transitioning into full-bodied stock cars. That is, I think, going to be the wave of the future. I think that's going to be a pretty common story going forward. And Nick, transitioning from karting into oval track racing, and then eventually moving up into full-bodied stock cars, and he's really getting this stuff figured out. He's a really competitive guy and just a fantastically nice young man. Both of them are. Raja's just a great kid, and yeah, we're lucky to have him. We really are, and I think having someone like Max Siegel involved in your series and the quality and caliber of a team like Rev Racing, I think is a very good selling point for us, and I'm looking forward to having them both next year.
Yeah, of course, a lot of faces. Venturini Motorsports, whoever they put in those cars, they're going to always come out with a good thing. What have you thought of that team this year?
Venturini Motorsports has 7 wins this year. It's not a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. The only problem is there's a team that's got 10 wins. That's tough to compete with. But 6 wins with Corey Heim and another with Jesse Love. Just a great season, and I think we're going to see a lot more out of Jesse next year, and I'm looking forward to it. He's another just phenomenally talented young man who's a lot of fun to be around, and it'll be interesting to see who they line up to be their championship contender or contenders, and then who we have kind of running part-time schedules over there. But yeah, they've had a great year, and hey, when you have had a championship season and you've had owners championships, and they're not happy finishing second, and I wouldn't be either. But they have by any stretch of the imagination 7 wins in 20 races is a good year. So I hope they're happy when they look back on the season, and they made it a great show. Especially those races where Corey and Ty were kind of butting heads a little bit. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah, I would be happy with 7 wins. I wouldn't be happy that I lost out on the championship, but no, they've had a really good year.
All right. Our friends at MAV TV will be able to broadcast for the first time the ARCA Menards Series Championship. That's a big, because when MAV TV kind of came on board, I think it was 2017, I want to say.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah. They really kind of came on strong, and now they're broadcasting the majority of your races, with the remaining races on FS1. But overall, what's it like to have MAV TV / Track Pass host the championship this year?
Yeah, they're a great partner. It's going to be a lot of fun to have Bob and Jim and Dave back at the track, and their first time that they've had a chance to broadcast the finale, and that's great. We would have liked, honestly, to have had this race on the Fox family of networks, but they've got a lot of other programming, and it just wasn't feasible for this year. But MAV does a great job. They really do. They give it every bit of their it's a big priority for them. It is. They put a lot of effort into it. Every bullet they've got in the chamber is directed at ARCA for this one, and that's good. That's might not be the best metaphor right there, Casey, right. But they really do. They're giving it their all, and we're really glad to have them. Bob Dillner has been around ARCA a long time, and Jim Trado, he started his career on air with ARCA back in 1993. He's really done a great job, and Dave Reef is someone who has really taken the series on and become someone who is a friend to everybody in the garage, and we love having them, and we're excited for them. It's a big opportunity for them, and it's good for us, and we hope we give them a good show on Saturday to share with the nation.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Jim's involved in all 20 races on the broadcast, because I know he's a pit spotter for when the Fox races are.
So he's a very familiar face around the ARCA garage.
Yep, that is for sure. And I know that there's been also a lot of things. I know I keep asking about this, but the schedule for 2022, I know that's the big focus right now.
Asking.
I know you've said on this, it's going to look really, really familiar to what it was this year. But overall,
It'll look pretty similar. It'll look pretty similar. No massive changes, I don't think. It's just a matter of lining up dates. And, there's been a lot of races that have already been announced. And, we're really excited to be going to, Daytona again, and Talladega and Michigan and Watkins Glen. And, we're super stoked to be going back to Lucas Oil, and that's the same day doubleheader with trucks. But, Casey, until we're ready to release the rest of it, I can't really share it with you.
Of course. Well, you can't. Well, I know it's actually still being worked on right now. Actually,
it's in process as you speak.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Expect that sometime really after the season, right around after Thanksgiving. That's typically when you guys usually announce your schedule. Is that an accurate timeline?
That's a pretty good estimate.
Okay. All right. Well, of course, we'll have you on then once the schedule does get announced, and we'll get to talk about it as we did last year. So
let's do it.
All right. Well, Charlie, thank you so much. It's always good to have you on. The main ARCA Menards Series Championship, the Reese's 150, will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on MAV TV. Or if you can't get MAV TV, you can always look on Track Pass. It's only how much? $2.99 a month?
$2.99 a month.
Yep.
Less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
Pretty much. The ARCA West Championship will be at Phoenix. That will also be exclusively on Track Pass. Of course, you'll be
November 6th. That's right. 6 drivers fight for that championship. Tune in.
Oh my goodness. We'll have a discussion on that the next time we do this.
Right.
So definitely going to be for sure. But Charlie, enjoy the championship of Kansas, and we'll be tuning in.
You got it. Thanks, Casey.